Hey guys, how you all doing? So Dan from Trading with Dan here. So we're gonna get political here, guys. Firstly, I would just like to say that I'm not really a very political person. In some respect. In a certain respect, I am very political. In my views, I basically am a libertarian. So I believe in libertarian views, small government, low regulation, basically. No socialism, no all this stuff, basically actual real capitalism, things able to fail, no bailouts, and yeah, all that jazz, all that sort of thing. But obviously the bickering party political world that we live in these days, nobody really represents that view. Nobody that has any sort of like overall power or standing or say or backing, or really, because let's face it, we live in a world of general crony capitalism. All these, they're all basically the same party. They're all basically doing the same thing. They all just want power to do whatever they want, or feather their own nest. We all know that. It's the same in the US. It's the same in the UK. I'm sure it's the same in many other places in the world. So whilst I do have those strong political views, those libertarian views, I don't have any party political views, because there isn't really a party for me, not in the UK anyway. So that being said, right, so now you guys know that I'm not party political. I'm not interested in this stuff generally, but I have obviously a lot of people have been telling me, and I've seen it on Facebook. I've just been going on about this guy, Dominic Cummings, right? It's everywhere, right? And like, I don't really know much about him. I just know that, yeah, he's one of Boris Johnson's advisors or something. And there's just some hoo-ha around him, basically. So like, I can honestly tell you, I haven't done any reading into this. I've got no opinion on. I don't even know, other than a very brief, not even a brief, not even a brief like rundown. I've literally just been told that he just violated lockdown or something. I mean, much the same way that Neil Ferguson violated lockdown, doing whatever he wanted. Not in the same way for the same reasons, I don't think. I don't know the reasons. So I don't know anything about this. So I'm just going to read it. I don't know anything about it. I've got no prejudices. I'm not prejudged him or the situation. I'm not a Labour fan, I'm not a Labour fan, and I'm not a Conservative fan either. But I'm not a Conservative fan. I'm not affiliated. I have no interest. I have no anything that I want to tell you guys, to try and persuade you about anything about either of those guys. I just don't care. I don't care. Yeah, I don't care. So this is literally. I'm going to read what I did. I googled, here on good old Google, what did Dominic Cummings do? That's what I don't know if you guys can see that. Right, we're going to go over to the screen anyway so you can see it. So yeah, so this is what I googled. What did Dominic Dominic, I don't know why I can't talk, guys. Yeah, what did he do? So I think the first one was BBC one, so I whizzed that one up, and that's the BBC one. And then just for the sake of completion, I did the next one, this Sky one. I'm not going to do the Sun, but I've done the first two results, BBC, and I think this was from not long ago, 5 hours ago, and then this one from Sky News from yesterday. Right, so we're going to read through this. You guys, you will definitely, whoever listening to this, you're going to know more than me, because you can't know less than me, because I know basically zero. So let's dig in. Right, okay. Dominic, I said it, Cummings, what did he do during lockdown? Right, okay. So UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson has given his full backing to his most senior advisor, Dominic Cummings, after he was accused of breaking lockdown rules. This is what I know. Breaking lockdown rules. That is the extent of my knowledge. So let's get into it now. And obviously now I know the Prime Minister's backing him. So I don't know what that means. I don't know whether that all I can read into that, if he's backing him, that he mustn't have done something that particularly wrong. I mean, if he's gonna back him, He's not. It's not saying that. Well, yeah, what he did was wrong, but I need him in my government. I need him advising me. Still, I need whatever. I mean, he's backing whatever he did. The prime minister's apparently behind him. Right. Okay. So right, got it. Get it. Got it. Good. Right. So Mr. Johnson said Mr. Cummings acted responsibly, legally, and with integrity, and that he acted with the overall aim of stopping the spread of the virus. Okay. Now this is interesting. This is the BBC. I don't know what the BBC are interested in. I do know that they are a media outlet. I do know that they were against Brexit, as a lot of media outlets were. So I don't think they're massive fans of Boris Johnson, and then by extension, surely not this guy either. But Mr. Johnson said, right, okay, so if the Prime Minister is saying the guy acted responsibly, legally, and with integrity, and that with the overwhelming aim of stopping the spread of the virus, then why is there so much controversy around it? I don't understand as of yet, but we're on a learning curve here, guys. We're on a learning curve. We're gonna get to the bottom of this. I mean, I just googled what did he do? BBC, Sky News. How can we not know? So right, here we go. What are the claims? Right, we know the PM's chief aide drove 260 miles from his London home to his parents' estate. And they don't mean estate in the sort of ghetto sort of way, like if you've just seen that film Blue Story. I watched that film Blue Story last night. I don't think they mean it in the same way. They're not going from Peckham to Rusholme or anything like that. By estate, I think they mean like the actual real estate. Like when they say back to the manor, like I mean they like rich people say estate and manor as in they mean the estates that their families live on and the manors with the manor houses that they live on. they don't mean it in the other way. So anyway, so right, okay. So the guy's got an estate. He's going back to his family's estate. My gosh, I need to grow up, guys. So right, okay. So from his London home to his parents' estate in County Durham at the height of restrictions in March. Okay, so this is in March, April. We're in May, aren't we now? April, May. Okay, so this is like 2 months ago. So why is this coming out now? Why is this the big deal? Why wasn't this just dealt with at the time? I mean, was the undercover footage that's only just come out? I mean, this is interesting. But hey, anyway, like I said, there's no more details on that. Right, okay. So, but allegations in the Observer and the Sunday Mirror said the former Vote Leave boss. Okay, right, we're getting political now, guys. I did say this, didn't I? I said the media generally, I know, was against Brexit, and this guy's a conservative, and they obviously did Brexit or doing Brexit. So I did think there would be a bit of a media bias, but that inclination has just been proven true here. So yes, so allegations of the Observer and the Sunday Mirror said the former Vote Leave boss did not stay indoors while in Durham, and also he made another trip there after returning to London in April. Okay, so he didn't stay indoors. But he went to his parents' estate. So, but he didn't say. I didn't stay indoors either. I mean, we all went outdoors. So I don't really know what that means either. And listen, I don't have any background knowledge on this. I don't have any preconceptions. I have nothing. So he didn't stay indoors. Okay then. Well, okay. The Observer and the Sunday Mirror. Well, okay then. He didn't stay indoors. Okay. And then he made another trip there after returning to London in April. Okay, so he went home twice. Okay then. Okay. He went back home to his estate. Don't ask me what I keep saying that because it's just from. Because I'm stupid. That's it. Right, we'll leave it there. Right, so we've got a nice little timeline here. Right, so 23rd of March, because we were talking about March, weren't we? Mid-March. Well, mid to end of March. Right, 3rd of March, the Prime Minister tells the UK public they must stay at home. People are warned not to meet friends or family members they do not live with. Those with symptoms had already been told to self-isolate. Okay. So 27th of March. Mr. Cummings is seen leaving number 10 Downing Street. Does he live at number 10 Downing Street? I thought the Prime Minister lived at number 10 Downing Street. Do they all live there? Is it just like a frat house? Is that how it works? I'm sure that isn't how it works. But hey, anyway. So he's seen leaving number 10 Downing Street. Oh, there's a link as well. Is that a link to a picture of him leaving? I don't know. I'm not going to click on it. 30th of March. Number 10 says Mr. Cummings is in self-isolation with coronavirus symptoms. Okay. 31st of March, so the next day, police in Durham are made aware of reports that an individual had travelled from London to Durham and was present at an address in the city. Officers made contact with the owners of that address. It is understood Mr. Cummings travelled there between the 27th and the 31st of March. Okay, well, why would it say it's understood he travelled there between then? Because he was seen leaving. Oh yeah, sorry, the 20th. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, right. Okay, I get it. I was thinking it was the 30th that he was seen leaving. Okay, yeah. Anyway, so he travelled there. So basically, he travelled there. We got that. He travelled to his parents' house, his parents' estate. Come on, let's not call it a house, guys. It's an estate. Anyway. Right, so Mr. Cummings visited Barnard Castle, 30 miles from his parents' home in Durham, according to the Observer and the Mirror newspaper. This truly is the Observer, isn't it? Not in name only. They are very observant. Quite aptly named, if I say so. Right, anyway, so the Observer and the Mirror newspapers. So on Sunday, the Prime Minister said he was assured Mr. Cummings behaved responsibly and legally either side of his 14-day isolation in Durham. So Mr. Cummings was photographed at Downing Street for the first time since the 27th of March. Okay. 19th of April. 5 days after being in London, Mr. Cummings was seen again in Durham by an unnamed witness. The Observer and the Mirror reported on Sunday. Downing Street said this is false. Okay. Obviously I got a comment on that. 2 newspapers said it's true. Downing Street says it's false. I mean, what? I don't know. I mean, have they got pictures of him? I don't know. I don't really. Is it even that important? I don't know. Right. Speaking to reporters outside his London home on Saturday morning, he said that he had done the right thing by travelling with his wife and young son to be near relatives when she developed COVID-19 symptoms at the end of March. When asked whether his trips to Durham looked good, he said, "Who cares about good looks? It's a question of doing the right thing. It's not about what you guys think." Asked when he would reconsider his position, he said, "Obviously not." Okay, so basically his wife had symptoms, so he drove back to be near his other family, like his parents, with his wife and kid during that period. Okay, so I don't know what to read. I mean, I don't know why. I don't know why he did that. I don't know why he needed to do that. But it seems like it's got, all I can say from what I know, from what I've read, is that this is not going into reasons why he did or didn't. So I don't know. I only know what I'm reading. But I'm just guessing that he must have been allowed to, otherwise the Prime Minister would have said, oh yes, he was wrong, or blurred blur, whatever, or he would be saying blurred blur, whatever, because he's not denying any of these facts. So, right, so what Boris Johnson said. Mr. Johnson told the Daily Downing Street briefing on Sunday that he had held extensive face-to-face talks with Mr. Cummings to discuss the situation. "I have concluded that in travelling to find the right kind of childcare at the moment when he and his wife were about to be incapacitated by the coronavirus, and when he had no alternative, I think he followed the instincts of every father and every parent, and I do not mark him down for that," the Prime Minister said. Okay, right, so I'm starting to see and get a picture. So his wife had symptoms. He thought they were going to be incapacitated. I don't know if they were incapacitated, but they basically moved, presumably, so his parents could look after his young kid. Well, I have got a few problems with that. The problem's been that if he believes he and his wife, or his wife and he soon to be, or he may be, or whatever, that they're exposed to coronavirus, so you'd have to by extension make assumptions the kid was. So then presumably his parents are older, because I mean, I'm not a genius, but last time I did some research on the matter. Parents are usually older than their kids. And looking at the guy, the youngest guy, let's say he is 50. Is he 50? Let's say he's 50. Let's Google how old Dominic Cummings is. How old is probably, yeah, 48. 48. I nearly got there, guys. 2 years off. 2 years. I was about 50. I mean, I wasn't guessing to the nearest 2 or 1. I was guessing nearest whole numbers. So 50. So I would say that's bang on. Anyway, so he's 50. I would guess his parents are 80. Let's guess 80s. Be on the safe side. You know how these upper class folk are. They don't exactly go around. They're not from the same estates where people have kids at 16. That's what I'm basically trying to say. So I would guess they are 80. So why is he taking his kid to one of the main things I know about coronavirus is that it is bad, especially bad for older people. So why would you, if you were exposed, then want your kid then to go and live with your parents who are presumably older? That makes no sense. Okay, that does make no sense. But that being said, if we've got consenting adults, as in him and his parents, and they are happy with him going up there to look after his kid if they become incapacitated, they've all made that decision, I guess. They're adults, they can make their own decisions. They don't have to then go out spreading it or whatever. So that's all I can think about that. It does seem stupid to me. That's all I'll say on that. Right, so he added, I believe that in every respect he has acted responsibly, legally, integrity. We read that. I know that was at the start, wasn't it? So anyway, so how has number 10 responded? Was that not just how they responded? Okay. So Downing Street issued an initial statement about the Durham trip, saying Mr. Cummings made the journey fearing both he and his wife would be unable to properly care for their 4-year-old son. His sister and niece... Oh, okay, there you go. I mean, there you go. Hey, there's some proof, guys. I know nothing about what is going on here. I just assumed it was his parents, because it said he's going back to his parents' house. But yeah, so his sister and nieces. Okay, so they are not obviously going to be any older than he is, and they may even be younger. So his sister and nieces had volunteered to help so that he wasn't... So he went to a house near to, but separate from his extended family in case their help was needed. His sister shopped for the family and everything was left outside, the statement said. Okay, that sounds reasonable. Sounds reasonable. Right, so Downing Street said no member of Mr. Cummings' family was spoken to by police. Although Durham Constabulary later said officers had spoken to his father by phone. I'm guessing when you live on an estate you have separate guest houses and things like that, so I suppose that his father didn't have to go and see him. So anyway, so a further number 10 statement addressing allegations in the Sunday's paper was about a second visit to the northeast that was issued on Saturday night. Yesterday, in the Mirror and the Guardian wrote inaccurate stories about Mr. Cummings, it said. Okay, so this is number 10 saying the Guardian and the Mirror wrote inaccurate stories. Today they are writing more inaccurate stories, including Kane claims that Mr. Cummings returned to Durham after work in Downing Street on the 14th of April. We will not waste our time answering a stream of false allegations about Mr. Cummings for campaigning newspapers. Okay, so I'm guessing what they're saying. I don't know whether they did or not. I mean, I'm not one to necessarily believe everything the media says, but I mean, you would think the actual number 10 Downing Street issuing a statement saying he didn't go there I mean, I am inclined to believe that, just because there would surely be some sort of evidence if he did go. So they're not just going to flat out call the newspaper for writing inaccurate stories when the newspaper could then just prove it. and I'm guessing it's just like someone phoned in and said something, possibly. I don't know, but I'm inclined to believe if number 10 said that these guys are making stuff up, it's just a case of who do I believe more, the media or an actual number 10 down the street, which is not necessarily going to want to just lie, basically. So, what others are saying. Daily Mirror political editor Pippa Carrera told BBC on Sunday the paper stood by its reporting. Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer called for a cabinet office inquiry and said it is an insult to sacrifices made by the British people that Boris Johnson has chosen to take no action against Dominic Cummings. Okay, I guess I would be all for this, yeah. Just have an inquiry into whether he did it or not, and whether he should have done or not. I don't even know whether he should have done, because he obviously had circumstances before too, so whether he should or not, whether they were lying or not, and whether the number 10 lied. I mean, yeah, that's fine. Let's find out. Let's find out if we can. Scotland's First Minister Nicola Sturgeon said she believed Mr Cummings should step down in a similar way to Scottish Chief Medical Officer Catherine Calderwood, who resigned after visiting her second home. I am guessing this woman did not have the same reasons for visiting a different home as the other guy did, and that's why she stepped down. So that's I don't know anything about that story, but I mean, why he's not stepping down because of the reasons that he went. She did step down because of the reasons that she went. So I'm not going to open the link and look into it, but that's just all that's all I can glean from the facts that I just read. Right, so Lib Dem acting leader Sir Ed Davey said the PM's judgment would be called into question if he did not sack Mr Cummings. So, well, firstly, I think if we have an inquiry and it says yes he did go there, and number 10 and thingy said he didn't, and the Prime Minister said he didn't, then obviously there was issues there, aren't there? So that maybe would bring his judgment into question, yeah. A number of Conservative MPs also said Mr Cummings should step down. Backbench Tory MP Steve Barker called for the senior advisor to resign. The country can't afford this nonsense, this pantomime. Dominic should go. We should move on and deal with things that matter in people's lives. Okay, right, okay, fair enough. So I just don't know enough. I still don't feel like I know enough about it, because the one thing that I've got missing is, did he go there again? Why did he go there the second time? Was that justified? Like the Prime Minister said the first time was justified. Is the actual proof he did? Is number 10 lying? Is the Prime Minister covering up for him? I mean, these are just answers that we do maybe need to get before we can make a decision. So, shall I quickly read through here? What did he do? See if it's got... we'll quickly read through this, see if it's got anything different. Coronavirus, what did Dominic Cummings do? Where in a timeline? Since the March from his wife to Durham, he said in North his relatives. Also reported that he was seen on 19th near a property days after being photographed in Downing Street. Okay, so he wasn't photographed, he was just seen. Okay, here's the timeline. So then, yeah, there's no photograph, I guess. It's just gonna... I assume this is just gonna be the same timeline. Officers let the was an information behind. Yeah, I don't really see anything extra anything extra written in here. Right, finally, one more thing that we're gonna do. Not this is gonna get to the bottom of this. We are just going to have a look on good old Twitter. Let's bring it over. Here is Twitter. Right, so reported to Durham police over the story isn't going to go away anytime soon. How much has Cummings got on you, Boris Johnson? What does this lying hypocrite know that means you're prepared to risk the public health and lives? It's a bit oh, Piers Morgan. This is a bit hyperbolic. To stop him blabbing, genuinely curious, genuinely hyperbolic, more like. Tory MP said the vast majority of MPs think he should go. Are there any good memes? I like to get my information from memes. I mean, I'm at that level. Channel 4, you say he was following his instincts. The rest of the country was following rules, not instincts. Yeah, okay, that is a good point, but like, let's face it, if we had to do something, we still would have done it, and lots of people did do it anyway. So, and a lot of the country were just going around to holiday homes and stuff anyway, so the rest of the country was not necessarily following rules. But anyway, but those guys in public office should be held at a higher standard. I can't argue against that. Johnson did exactly what he was always going to do tonight. He acted for himself. He can't cope without Cummings. He's no Churchill. He isn't brave or principled or serious. He did the wrong thing. He was dishonest. He was just one. I don't think this guy likes. I don't think he likes. I reckon she's a Labour person. Anyway. Yeah. Anyway, so there we go. So basically, okay. So he basically went for a reason that he's explained that people know about. To be nearer to his nieces, and he just chose to go and self-isolate in a different place. That's basically what he did. I mean, yeah, to be honest, other people didn't do that or had that option. I do think, whilst you have a law for basically a rule, it's not a law, a rule for everybody overall, that is to obviously limit basically most people from gallivanting around the country deciding, should I go to my holiday home, should I go here, should I go to my parents, should I do that? I mean, people making those sorts of decisions, but I guess on an individual basis, I mean, people still have to make their own decisions and live with those consequences and things. And I guess if he decided to go there because he thought that was best, then he's done what he thinks was best. And then if there are repercussions because he broke some rules, I guess there's repercussions, aren't there? I mean, that's the way I look into it. That's the way I see it. So yeah, like I said, I don't know much about it. I don't know too much. I can't really say too much other than what I just read in that. And there we go. So there you go, guys. That's my that is my views. And like, whilst you might not be interested in my views, all I can say is, as an impartial person, I didn't know anything about it. I just basically read through what I read, and that's the impression I've got. So if you are more strongly have stronger views based on just a bias you have over not liking Brexit, not liking the Conservative, not liking Boris Johnson, or you have views because you like Brexit, because you like Boris Johnson and you like the Conservatives, then just bear that in mind, that is obviously part of your view, basically. But don't forget that also a lot of you people out there have got kids, have got a family, and if you have to do something that you think is beneficial for your family, even though it breaks the rules, then you would still do it, and you still wouldn't necessarily hold it against anyone for doing it. So I would propose the fact that people that are irate about it are maybe using this as a weapon to hit him with, just because you don't like him for other reasons. Whereas if you actually just think about the fact he's done stuff for his family, for his kids, I mean, because that's all we know about. The other trip that apparently he made that they're all denying, I mean, I can no more confirm or deny that did or didn't happen. So, and nor can the newspapers, otherwise they would. They'll be like, here's the picture of him, here's the evidence on the front page, which is not there. So that lack of evidence is deafening. to mix a metaphor there. But yeah, anyway, so there we go. So right, thanks for listening, guys. Dan from Trading with Dan. Yeah, so let me know what you think in the comments. If you got more information, if you know more than I know, because you know what I know now, so you know there may be massive gaps in my knowledge, there may be photos of him there may be evidence, it's just not there, it's just not in the papers. Just let me know, guys. And yeah, thanks for listening. I'll speak to you soon.